Hello and welcome back, Doodle Crew fans. I'm sitting down here again with another lovely, amazing artist for an interview. I'm joined with Maegan Cook. Hi, Maegan. Thanks for sitting down with me.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. I'm excited. So, starting off, as I've been asking everybody, do you remember how we met?
I do, but I don't remember exactly when.
Okay.
We met at a convention called River Road Expo down in Tioga, and I think it was 2013.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that would fit. It was definitely early on because I know I was still early in the books that I was selling at that show. It was also a very small show, so we were still kind of figuring our art and our cons out.
Yeah, I think it was 2013. It could have been early 2014 because I remember that I had a preview for A+B. I didn't actually have the book yet.
Yeah, which is crazy because I've known you obviously for that amount of time, and I've known the different books that you've put out since then. And it's so funny because I was like, that was my first getting to see your cool stuff, which is too fun. Yeah, no, that was it's a lot of fun, and I'm very excited for the upcoming year where we get to be back in convention and doing our fun things again because I miss it.
Wait. I miss it too.
I miss seeing the people, like the customers, but I also miss seeing like my convention friends. And
yeah, the whole local con family. I feel like it's gonna be like a huge family reunion when we finally get to have Ithacon in person.
yes. No, and it's cool for people who aren't familiar with our local shows. So Ithacon is a nice one. It's held at one of the local colleges kind of around us, and it's a very chill, usually the beginning of the con season for us, but it's just a big oh my gosh, we haven't seen each other since the end of con season in September, October of the previous year. How's everybody doing? And yeah, it's just a big love fest, and it's funny because I don't necessarily care how well I do that weekend sales wise because I'm just excited to see all my friends and be back behind the table. Too funny. So going back to that, what I've been asking everybody, just because it's a funny cross section for the Doodle Crew, are you one of the Art Institute of Pittsburgh alumni?
I am not, but I enjoy y'all's stories.
It's pretty funny. It has been it wasn't a plan. That's the part that kills me is it wasn't something that I was specifically I'm going to get all my AIP crew together because John and Joey are ones who, and Jeff Munn, they're people who I didn't actually go to the school with. They just happened to also be alumni that I then met through Comic-Con. And it was funny because I'm there's a lot of us in this area. So yes, so I it is nice to have someone else who is also part of the con family, but is not another AIP alum.
Someone a little outside of the Art Institute circle.
Yeah, just bringing in some new blood, which is probably good for all of us. So when it comes to making art, is art right now your primary job or career, or is it something that you do in addition to that?
Right now it's an addition. It's a little bit of a side hustle. Eventually it might be my primary job, I hope.
Yes. But I know you and I have definitely had lengthy conversations when we were both working kind of time-consuming full-time jobs and trying to get all of our convention stuff ready, that it can be like working two full-time jobs, which is a lot.
It is a lot, especially if you get heavy into conventions and you don't do strictly local shows. If you start to throw travel in there where you're having to plan 4 to 5 days to travel somewhere else to go, and it's woo, work, travel,
work some more, travel, work during the travel. Yeah, no, there were definitely weekends where I would take time off, quote unquote, from my day job, but come back to, literally get back that day and then go to work the next day and then just roll right into it. And yeah, I could only do about a couple weeks of that back to back before I was I need a break.
Time for a vacation from my vacations that aren't really vacations. They're work.
Yep. Yeah, I tell people like, yeah, I'm going to be in Baltimore this weekend. Like, oh, are you going to do this and this? I'm like, nope, I'm going to be in the convention hall all weekend for longer days than normal work days.
Yep, instead of 8 hours, I'm gonna put in a full 12 both days. Great.
Yeah. But really, folks, we love it. We do it because we love it. And we're
It
crazy.
is a labor of love. It
It
really
is.
is.
No, it definitely is. And I have missed it a lot. So I'm excited to get back to it. But when it came to creating your art and finding the art that you were doing, how did you come across and figure out your niche in the art world?
I knew this was a question that was going to be asked, and I really racked my brain, and I really don't feel like I have a niche.
Okay.
I don't. I have a style that I've developed, but I think I'm still trying to find that little magical corner I fit into.
Well, I'll say as someone who is a big fan of your work, I love your take on a lot of different cartoon and anime titles, and it is so cool because you have this awesome spin and personalization on them that I can always tell it's your art even though it is known character property. So I like that. And I have friends who do fan art, but I feel like you have carved out your own like chunk in that where it's very much your realm.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Well, and you've always impressed
I didn't
me.
even realize I did that.
Yeah. Well, you've impressed me too because you have the dual combo of being a writer and an artist, which not a lot of us do. So, yeah, I can't do. I choose not to write because no.
It is a double-edged sword, as they say. I found that I could be more disciplined in my art, but because writing is such a more passionate, pleasurable like hobby, I find it harder to force myself into a regime and get books put out. So I apologize to anyone who's a fan of me as a writer. I am slow and I'm sorry.
That's okay. I feel like if they can hang and wait for George R. Martin to put out stuff, then they'll be okay. They'll be okay. Not everybody can be George Patterson. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I used to remember like looking at some of the art or the authors' schedules and even ones who wrote under like multiple pen names and stuff like that. I'm like, how are you putting out so many books? This is insanity.
I have no idea unless they have running drafts or they utilize ghostwriters. I really don't know how some of them, especially the paperback like bestseller authors, it seems like every 3 months they've got a new book or something and you're like,
but how?
Did
Yeah.
you write it all 5 years ago and your publisher's just pulling from your old slush pile? Like how?
Yeah. Yeah. Teach me your sorcery. I have so many questions.
Do you have one of those doohickeys Hermione has? Because I
Ser-
need one. Can I just
Dude.
borrow it?
Oh my gosh, the amount of work I could get done. Again, it's so funny. And it's something I've related to so much in the book that you have this teenager, this student, with this incredibly high powered magic device. And what does she do with it? Do more work. And I was like, what? That's not relatable at all.
No, nobody would use that for that. Can I have it?
Like, no, but please. I have so many projects I want to do. I am tired. Like, I need to. Yeah, it would be dangerous. But boy, my productivity would be through the roof. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Yeah, nothing nefarious. Literally just like more hours in the day that I could do work.
Or even, hey, a nap. I would use it to have a nap.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Too real. Oh. Oh, it's too funny. So I know earlier we mentioned A+B, and I've definitely gotten to witness you publishing and producing a bunch of really, really cool projects and different things that you worked on. But out of all of those or things that you're currently doing, what is a project that you're really proud of? Either a current one or a past one?
I think one that I'm really proud of and I was really excited to be a part of was I'm a member of a group called Girls Drawing Girls. And last year, like last minute, everybody scrambled together. We put together a collaborative children's book called What Pina Drew. And that was an amazing experience to get to work with a lot of other female artists. And we each illustrated a page of this story and put it together to help kids kind of process the pandemic and quarantine, and got it put out and everything within a matter of, I think, like 3 months, like an insane amount of time to try
Yeah.
to get a book from start to finish and out the door and published on Amazon type of stuff. So I'm really proud of that project and that group and getting to be a part of that.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, especially like it's not just like one person hustling things. Like this was multiple people in all different places across the country, possibly outside of the country too. I think there are some members who are not like local to the US, and like that's a big
I think
undertaking.
so. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think there was at least one international artist on that project, at least one.
Yeah. No, I know I have not been able to keep up with my membership to that, which bums me out because it is a really cool, really incredibly amazing depth of talent, and all female artists across the country, which is just so cool. I know anytime I've gotten to be a part of, like, I know I was on one of their live streams, like that's really fun. It's a really fun, neat group of artists.
It really is. It's really fun, and it's really nice to be a group of professional artists and get to see what everybody else is doing, and then getting to do those types of projects, having the opportunity to participate is amazing.
Yes. Yes. All about that collaboration life. Heck yes.
Yes. All
Oh,
about the collab.
I love it. I love it. So along those lines, because as we talked, you are a writer, an artist, you do a ton of different things in a lot of different mediums. Is there one that you particularly love?
Um, I work mostly these days in digital art, and I'm just gonna say that I also love it a lot. I think the versatility of the medium is amazing. And you could do everything from, you know, if you want to be a cartoonist or you want to be a comic artist, to you want to paint an epic masterpiece, you know, that heralds back to Magic the Gathering and high fantasy novels of old. Like, you could do it all on
Yeah.
a screen, which is
Yep.
amazing.
You can undo at any point.
And that too. Control Z is my life.
Yep. Yep. No, it has been so funny as I've been talking to the different artists and gone through this that keeps coming up, and it's a big excitement for us. And these are like a lot of us, as you all know, like we have been doing art for a while, but the fact that I can still take that back and erase that and just make it like it never happened is still magic. Oh, I love it. All right, so then the follow-up question to that, what's a medium that scares or intimidates you?
Pretty much anything 3D. I learned through school and college and trying different projects, and people going, "Oh, you're artsy. Here, do this." That I really suck at 3D art, and I can't sculpture. Like,
Oh,
if my life is threatened and the only way out is to like carve a stone something, I'm gonna lay down and quit. I have no hope. There's no there's nothing I can do about that.
yeah. And it's so funny to me, again, in a weird way of how our artist brains work, because as you're working, even in a two-dimensional medium, we are constantly thinking about how do we make this drawing look more three-dimensional? How do we give it weight? How do we give it depth and all of that? Like, there's an understanding of the concept, but when you take us out of that and put us actually into the 3D thing, like when I used to sculpt in clay, I'm like, none of this makes any sense. Like no, I don't know how to do it though. Like what? Yeah.
there there was a there was a project in high school. I did a summer program at the Ringling School of Arts, and one of the courses to be a well-rounded art student was like this sculpture. I'm going to call it sculpture. It was really making things out of like random items. So I think we had
Okay.
like
Yep.
wire and cardboard and tissue paper and some other miscellaneous things. And we probably spent most of the class thinking and conceptualizing and deciding what we were going to build. and I don't think we ever finished it. It didn't look anything like we had planned. It didn't look anything like the sketches. I think it was supposed to be a dragon. I don't even remember. And I think at that point in my life, like gluing tissue paper between wires to try to make like this wire beautiful frame, I was just like, yeah, this is not gonna work. This is Can somebody else do this? And I'll just, I'll take their class.
Yeah. Yeah. And so like again, drawing it out, totally like, okay, this should make sense. We bend it like this, we do it like this. And then when the items are placed in front of you, actually doing it, you're like, wait, no. No, what?
No. This glue doesn't work. Why doesn't this glue work? And then once that fails, it's like, does anyone know how to weld? No? Okay. Well, that's not an option. So duct tape. Duct tape's good. Oh, wait, we have tissue paper. We can't use duct tape.
Oh,
I fail. Just fail me. I'm done.
Yep. Okay, I'm out. Yep. Thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah. No, I think it's funny though, because I think there's this idea that if you are artsy, one, that also makes you crafty, which I've never been, and two, that you just kind of have this natural affinity for any aspect of art. And for the most part, I find that's not true. There are some artists who are multi-dimensional, multi-talented across many, many things. But I think as at least I've grown in my art career, while I'm still happy to try other stuff, the focus that I spend the most of my time on definitely has gotten a lot smaller. So my ability to branch out and do a lot of other stuff competently is not as much. I'm like, nope, I'm really good at these few things, and everything else I'm okay.
I'm just going to stay this way. I might detour a little bit and look at the rose bush over here, and then I'm going to go back to what to my regular path.
Yep.
Nice detour.
Yep, it's good here. I like this path. This path works for me. So when you are working on your art or working on your writing and all of that, and you hit the dreaded art slump, how do you work through your art slumps?
So for me, it depends on how bad of a slump we're in. If it's like, a little bit of burnout or something, you can kind of push through that. You could do warm-up exercises. You can distract yourself with a like personal project if you've got time. Caveat, if you've got time. If you're pushing against deadlines and you got to get it done, a lot of caffeine helps.
Yep.
And, you just gotta do. I don't know, but I will say if it's a deep slump or total art block, which does happen, it's actually better to take a break than try to push through if you get to that point. I found that if I take a break, even if it's just a weekend, and I go out, I do something fun, I read a book if I actually have time to do such a thing, or binge watch a show that I've been putting off because I've been too busy to even look at a TV screen, that creative, like, it's almost like you're taking a deep creative breath and you're inhaling, exhaling, looking at something pretty, and then you're like, okay, I can get back to work now.
No, I think that's beautiful. And I think there is an importance to being able to self-reflect on, okay, is this just like a little bump that I just need to kind of knuckle down and grind through? Or is this, no, my body, my brain, my artistic spirit is telling me that I need to take a second. And I know, at least for me, it can sometimes feel very guilty to sit and consume other media, because my brain then tells me, well, you're just consuming it. Why aren't you making it? And I think that's undervaluing, like, the fact that I do art because I love it, but also because I like to consume it. I like to have it, and bring it in. There's a reason I love watching cartoons. And so giving yourself the freedom and the grace to actually just sit and enjoy something without feeling like you have to work while you do it is important.
Just ignoring that feeling for a minute, because you're like, no, we're taking a break there, artist ego. We're taking a break.
Yep. You're just going to give me this one. You're going to give me 5 hours of binge watching this show, and we're just going to deal is what we're going to do. Yeah, I think, and I know as we get wrapped up in stuff, especially if you like you've talked about managing a day job with your art hustle, it can be difficult to break out of that like hustle cycle and actually attend to your personal needs. Like that's a big thing. And yeah, it can be really tough. And then if you don't, it definitely catches up with you, which can be tricky to recover from at times.
Yeah, that's when you need a real vacation. If you get to that point where you've been hustling and side hustling so hard that you're like, need to breathe.
Need to breathe. Now, again, because I know you and I have the insider information, your partner is someone who is not as much in the art world. So are you able to kind of lean on them to pull you out of that or distract you or at least bring you back into maybe grounding a little bit?
So I'm able to lean on him for the support that I need to be able to do both things. And I'm also able to lean on him. He could tell when I'm getting to that burnout part. He'll be like, so, you're taking a day off next week, huh? And I'll be like, no, I've got to da 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 da. And he's like, okay, find a stopping point, and then you're taking a day off next week.
Yeah.
So he's pretty good about that.
No, that's really good. It's important, I think, because, you know, as we've talked, we're not always great at managing ourselves sometimes with that. So yeah, having that other person who's like, okay, I'm just checking in. Just doing a wellness check on you.
Yeah, it's kind of like that. He'll look at me sometimes and he'll be like, you haven't talked about your art stuff lately. Are you working on stuff? I'm like, yeah, I'm working on stuff. He's like, when are you working on it? And that's actually the opposite problem. It's like, okay, I'm gonna work on stuff.
Okay, bye.
That was my break. But okay, I'll go get my stuff done instead of procrastinating. Thank you.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's too funny. Well, and it's very cool because I've gotten the pleasure of getting to hang out with both of you at conventions, and like he is so supportive and so awesome of all of your stuff, which it's great. It is so cool to have a partner like that to have with you. So yeah, kudos to him.
Thank you. I will let him know that you are singing his praises.
Yes, it's good. I think it's important, and especially obviously when both partners are in the art world, we have a level of understanding with it. But I am so impressed with people, especially for him, because he comes from a much more science side of it. Like to be so in, and like the weekends when he's at convention, like he's there and he's in it, and like I think that's really, really cool and really special.
It is. So. It is really cool that I get to spend my life with somebody who really appreciates what I do, and while I don't understand everything he does, like he's really passionate about it, and I can appreciate that. And I think that's how we work, is even if we don't get what the other person's going on about, we're like, no, you're excited, so I'm excited. Let's do it.
Yep. No, I have said that for years, that even if you're talking to me about something that I don't know anything about, if you're excited about it, I'm just excited. Like, and they're like, oh, so you know this? I'm like, no, I know nothing. I'm just excited to hear you talk.
I know
like,
nothing, but you know.
Yeah. No, that's awesome, especially when it comes to science. Because I'm like, no, those words you said meant nothing to me, but you said them with such positivity and enthusiasm that I'm just here for it.
At least with science, you could go, I'm pretty sure that's Greek or Latin, but yeah, okay.
Yep. Using those dead languages on me. All right, I'm on to you.
Yeah.
Oh, that's too funny. Yeah, no, he's a good egg. Definitely keep him.
I'll try.
But kind of final question, Tort. What do you like about Doodle Crew? What have you been enjoying since you've been so kind to be with us since the beginning?
No, I really, can I say everything? Everything about Doodle Crew is amazing, and the work that you guys have put into it. No, it's blossoming into this beautiful community of artists from different walks and different levels of professionalism. And I love being able, like we talked about collaboration. I love collaboration, but even more than that, I like spending time with art friends. And this is kind of me spending time with art friends as much as I can, especially the last year, you know?
Yeah. No, it is such a huge part of it. And we talk about, when we need a break or all of that and recharging our batteries. And Doodle Crew is that. It is it is getting to kind of get together and collectively feed off of each other's positive art energy. And no, I know I needed it during the pandemic, because being alone in my house with the world on fire was a lot. And it's a lot to everybody, not just our crazy, art and sympathetic people. And yeah, no, I am so happy that you joined, and we've we've gotten to get through all of your tech issues that are trying to break you, but we won't let them break you. Yeah.
Oh, speaking of personal side note, my laptop is in its death throes right after our last live stream.
Oh no.
I have been getting an error message every time I turn on my computer that my cooling fan isn't working, and it could cause my computer to basically crash.
Oh my gosh.
And I just, when that happened, after Saturday, I think it was Sunday when I turned it on and I got that message, and I think I sat there and looked at it just like this for a good 10 minutes, just like, like just not okay. We're gonna press enter. We're gonna restart. We're gonna virus scan. We're gonna do all this, and you're gonna work.
Yep.
And then Monday it did the same thing, and I'm just like, so yes. Despite technical issues and me feeling like a grandma with live streaming, we're making it. We're making it.
Well, and I think that's been something really cool for me to learn in the past year, as I've done a lot more live streaming and live streaming art, is even if the getting the tech set up and kind of getting comfortable with working on art while you're on camera, it is so cool because so many of us in the convention scene, this is very similar to what it's like to sit behind the table and talk to the chat and talk to people coming to the table. So, I watch you already have that comfort and that skill with it. So as soon as we get everything set up and you're all ready to go, that natural part of you gets to come out and it's there. So that's a beautiful thing to see.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
That was the most thing I was nervous about is I haven't ever before Doodle Crew, I didn't do any live stream. I had never really sat in front of the camera, and even my art process videos on YouTube and stuff, it's just a time lapse like Procreate does, and just music over it. There's no, you don't see this, there's no me talking and drawing at the same time. Yeah, that takes some practice.
Yeah, it's a whole thing. I swear, it's like being a hairdresser where you're cutting hair and talking at the same time. I'm like, it's two different parts of your brain. So you gotta work into that, because that's not just something you're naturally ready to do. But no, I think you're great at it, and I'm over the moon. I'm so happy to have you on Doodle Crew and have you to hang and do art with. So
thank you. I'm happy to get to hang with you and everybody else too.
Yay! That's awesome. So if people want to find you, follow you, support you, see more of your amazing artwork, where can they find you for that?
I am on Instagram at Maegan C Creates. I have a TikTok, which is MCC_art. And I am also on Twitter, I think the same as my Instagram handle. I'm also on Facebook, but that's the full Maegan Cook Creates. And that's pretty much everywhere.
And your Etsy.
Oh, and Etsy. Yes. And my shop on Etsy. That's also linked to my Instagram to make life easier. I finally figured out how to do that. So
yay!
That's also Maegan C Creates.
Yes. No. And I love throwing that one up, because I have gotten some really, really cool, amazing art from you. So I'm a big fan. So.
Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, this was awesome. Thank you so much for sitting down with me and chatting with me. And I so appreciate it.
Yeah. This has been a lot of fun. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, thanks for tuning in, everybody, and we'll see you later. Goodbye.